Welcome everyone. Let's begin our lesson for today by going over the learning goals and success criteria. First, what are we learning? We're learning how to solve multi-step equations for a variable. How are we learning it? Through the special multi-step equations notes and the special multi-step equations assignment. When can we use this information? To determine how long it will take you to save up enough money to buy a car. How do we know we learned it? By getting a score of 4 on the special multi-step equations assignment. Now let's take a look at our agenda for today. We will begin by going over the learning goals and success criteria. While we do that, you'll fill out your Get It Started. Once you've completed your Get It Started, we'll go over it together and answer any questions that you may have. After that, we'll go over the special multi-step equations notes, and then I'll give you time to complete the special multi-step equations assignment on IXL. Once you've completed the assignment, we'll go over it together and answer any questions that you may have. At the end of class, we'll go back over our learning goals and success criteria while you fill out your Before You Go. Your only homework for tonight is to continue working on any incomplete assignments that you may have. Let's take a look now at the special multi-step equations notes. The notes begin with the learning goals and success criteria. Now, our rule is we need to get x by itself, and we need to get the 4 and the 3 away from the x. Now, where do we begin? We could get rid of the 4 or the 3. Now, the easiest solution is always to get rid of whatever's furthest away from the x first. So, in this case, we can see that we have a 4 and a 3. Those are the two that we need to get rid of, and we're going to pick from those two and say which one's furthest away. Well, the 4 is attached to the x, so the 4 is really close. The 3 over here is kind of floating, so we're going to get rid of that one first. So we'll go ahead and add 3 to both sides. And we're left with 4x by itself. Negative 3 plus 3 is 0, so that's really 4x plus 0, which is just 4x. And we have 9 plus 3 is 12, so we're left with 4x is equal to 12. Now we get rid of the next variable. So we just keep doing this, whatever's the next furthest away, we just keep doing that process until we get x by itself. Well, the only number that's left is the 4, so we're going to get rid of that one next. So we have 4 times x is equal to 12. So we're going to undo multiplication by dividing. So we divide both sides by 4. And we get x by itself is equal to 12 divided by 4 is 3. So in this case, we get x equals 3. Let's talk about how we can solve this multi-step equation. So we have x minus 4 over 2 plus 4 is equal to 6. So remember, our rule is get rid of everything that's not the variable, starting with whatever's furthest away on the same side. So if we look, the 4 is grouped with it, the 2 is underneath it, and this 4 is just kind of floating around. So the 4 should be what we get rid of first. So it's a positive 4, so we're going to undo that by subtracting 4 from both sides. That'll get rid of this 4. So we get 4 minus 4 is 0, and 6 minus 4 is 2. So we're left with x minus 4 over 2 is equal to 2. Now we need to determine what's furthest away from the x. Well, we can see that we have this negative 4 and this positive 2. Those are the two that we need to get rid of. The negative 4 is grouped with the x up here. The 2 is floating kind of at the bottom. So we're going to get rid of the 2 next. So the 2 is being divided by this, right? So we're going to undo it by multiplying. So we'll multiply both sides by 2. And 2 times 2 is 1. Anything divided by 1 is just itself. So we're left with x minus 4 over here is equal to 2 times 2, which is 4. Now we have x minus 4 is equal to 4. We just have this 4 to get rid of. So we're going to get rid of that one next. It's subtracting 4, so we're going to undo that by adding 4 to both sides. And we get x is equal to 4 plus 4, which is 8. Now, what if I have variables on both sides? Well, if we have variables on both sides, we're going to move all the variables to one side and all the constants to the other side. So we're going to group these together. We can see that we have a 2x and a negative 4x. Those are my variables. And I have a negative 6 and a negative 12. Those are my constants. So I'm going to move all the numbers to one side and all the variables to the other side. So I could move this 2x to the other side, or I could move the negative 4x to this side. I'm going to move the negative 4x because that'll keep it positive. So I'm going to add 4x to both sides, and I get 2x plus 4x is 6x. These cancel out, so I'm left with 6x minus 6 is equal to negative 12. Now I can just solve for x. So I'm going to get rid of this negative 6, so I'm going to add 6 to both sides. And I get 6x is equal to negative 12 plus 6 is negative 6. Now I need to get rid of this 6 that's in front of the x. Notice that the 6 is being multiplied by x, so I undo that by dividing both sides by 6. And I get x by itself is equal to negative 6 divided by 6, which is negative 1. So let's look at a couple of examples here. We have x plus 2 over 3 is plus 4 is equal to negative 9. So I'm going to get rid of whatever's furthest away first. Well, this 2 is grouped with it. The 3 is kind of grouped with it as well. The 4 is floating, so I'm going to get rid of that first. So I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides to undo the addition of 4. So what I'm left with is x plus 2 over 3 is equal to negative 9 minus 4. Well, negative 9 minus 4 is negative 13. Now I need to get rid of whatever the next furthest away is. Well, the 2 is up here with the x, and the 3 is kind of floating below, so I'm going to get rid of the 3 next. The 3 is dividing, so I'm going to undo that by multiplying both sides by 3. So these will cancel out. I'm left with x plus 2 is equal to 3 times negative 13. Well, 3 times negative 13 is negative 39. So I got x plus 2 is equal to negative 39. I'm going to undo this addition of 2 by subtracting 2 from both sides. So I'm left with x is equal to negative 39 minus 2, which is negative 41. Now let's look at this example here. We have 6 times x minus 4 is equal to negative 36. So I could distribute this, but I don't need to. I'm going to get rid of whatever's furthest away first. So the negative 4 is inside the parentheses with the x, so I'm going to get rid of this 6. Well, the 6 is multiplying by these things here, so I'm going to undo it by dividing by 6. And I'm left with x minus 4 is equal to negative 36 divided by 6, which is negative 6. Now I have a minus 4 here, so I'm going to undo that by adding 4 to both sides. And I get x is equal to negative 6 plus 4 is negative 2. Let's look at a couple of examples of variables on both sides. So I have 6x minus 4 is equal to negative 2x plus 16. So again, I got to get all my variables to one side and all my constants to the other side. So I have 6x and negative 2x. Well, I want to keep it positive if I can, so I'm going to go ahead and add 2x to both sides to get rid of this. So I add 2x to both sides, and I get 6x plus 2x is 8x. So 8x minus 4 is equal to 16 is all that's left over here. Now I'm going to solve. I get rid of whatever's furthest away from the x first, which in this case is the 4. So I'm going to add 4 to both sides. I get 8x is equal to 16 plus 4, which is 20. Now I divide both sides by 8, and I get x equals 20 over 8. Notice 20 cannot be divided by 8, so I just leave it as 20 over 8. And I could simplify that, and when I do that, I divide both the top and bottom by 4. So 20 divided by 4 is 5, and 8 divided by 4 is 2, so it's 5 over 2. Now we have 1/3 x minus 2 is equal to 1/6 x minus 4. We do the same thing. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract 1/6 x from both sides. So now I have 1/3 x minus 1/6 x minus 2 is equal to negative 4. Now I need to get a common denominator. I can see that my common denominator should be 6, right? Because 3 times 2 is 6. So this is really 2/6 minus 1/6 x minus 2 is equal to negative 4. Well, 2/6 minus 1/6 is 1/6. So this is 1/6 x minus 2 is equal to negative 4. So I'm going to go ahead and add 2 to both sides. And I get 1/6 x is equal to -4 plus 2 is -2. Now 1/6 is multiplying by x, so I'm going to undo that by multiplying by the reciprocal, which is 6/1, or 6. So I'm left with x by itself is equal to 6 times -2, which is -12. Now there's a video here for you to watch that shows you how you can check your work on multi-step equations using Symbolab. Let's take a look now at how we can check our work using Symbolab for multi-step equations. So we go to symbolab.com and we go into this bar here and we can go ahead and put our equation. So let's say we had an equation x over 4 minus 3 is equal to 12. So that was our equation. We wrote it in here, and we're going to go ahead and click go. And it'll give us our answer here, but it'll also show us step by step how to do this. So it tells us first we should add 3 to both sides. And we end up with x over 4 is equal to 15. It says now multiply both sides by 4. So we multiply both sides by 4, and we get x equals 60. So it shows us step by step, and we could make this as complicated as we want to. This could be x minus 5 up here. Now we click go. It'll still tell us how to do it. So it'll say add 3 to both sides, multiply both sides by 4, and then add 5 to both sides, and we get 65. So we can use Symbolab to help us check our work when dealing with multi-step equations. Let's talk now about how to access your assignments on IXL using SBLink. So what you'll do is you'll click on the link that takes you to your SBLink, which should look like this, and you're going to log in the same way you would log into your computer. So the first part for your username is going to be the first part of your email address without the @sbcusd.ca.us. So it should be your last name, first initial, middle initial, and then the last 4 of your student ID. Then for your password, it's the same password you use to log into your Chromebook. From there, you'll go ahead and click sign in. And it should take you to a page that looks kind of like this. You're going to go find the link that says IXL, which is right here. And I'm going to go ahead and click on that link. And it should take me to the IXL login page. So it should look like this. At the top right corner, it should say welcome and then your name. If it does not say your name, then you're not logged in and you won't receive credit for your work. As long as this is good, you can go ahead and close that tab out. And then you can go to your Google Classroom. And then you'll go and find the activity, which is here. And I'm going to click on the IXL link right here. And this will take me to the assignment that I need to complete. So that's how you log into your assignments on IXL using SBLink. Let's take a look now at the special multi-step equations assignment. So our assignment begins here with our learning goals and success criteria. If we scroll down, there's a link here that'll take us to SBLink so that we can log in and access the IXL activity. Once you've logged in, you'll come back to this page and click on the link here for IXL, and it should take you to a page that looks like this. Now from here, you're going to answer the questions on IXL. So the first one says 2 equals 2k minus 4. So I'll go ahead and add 4 to both sides to get rid of this minus 4. So I'm left with 6 over here. So 2k is equal to 6. Divide both sides by 2 and I get k is equal to 3. I hit submit. It tells me I got it right. My SMART score goes up and I continue to answer more questions. Next one says 3d plus 3 is equal to 9. Well, I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides, so I get 6. Then divide both sides by 3, I get 2. I hit submit. My SMART score continues to go up, and it continues to ask me more questions. So you'll continue to answer these questions until you've completed enough to get a SMART score of 80. Now notice if I miss a question, my SMART score will come down a little bit. That's okay. Just keep answering questions until you get your SMART score back up. When you're done with this, you'll go ahead and go back to your Google form and click Next. This will send you to your Before You Go. Go ahead and complete the Before You Go and then submit your work on Google Classroom.